Hey, so just another very quick recording showing where Morphin's up to. So you can see now we've got, this is the end result of this tutorial I'm going to run. So we've got bone animation, we've got blend shape animation, we've got multiple animation tracks running. It's pretty cool. So I'm going to start this from scratch. So I'm going to go to File, New. Here we are. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in a model that I made in Nomad. So here's this guy. So he's got, if I look at his the outline for this guy, I've got three meshes. So I've got low, which is the low resolution skin. I've got a tooth down here, and I've got eyes as separate objects. Just to make it clearer for myself, I'm going to rename these. I'm going to name this one mesh, sure, and I'm going to just rename eyes low to eyes. Yep. Okay. So there's going to be multiple steps to this. I think I'll just show that what I also made inside Nomad was some blend shapes. So I've got a smile, a blink, and a frown. So I'll get to those later. So the first thing we'll do is I'm going to add a rig. So I'm going to go up to here and go rig, and I'm just going to very quickly put in a neck bone and a head bone. So I'm going to roughly rotate that to about there, and going to add a child bone and put that up to so it's more straight. And then I'm going to make two eye bones so I can rotate the eyes around. So I'm going to make a child of that. And I'm going to go to my side view. I'm going to switch to ortho mode, lock the rotation. I'm just going to hide the skin for the moment. So I'm going to hide the mesh. And I'm going to snap that to the side view, zoom in a bit, and put this roughly over the eyes. So about there, turn it so it's facing forward. So I'm going to use this to be doing eye rotation. So the more straight it is, the better. Look from the front, and it's off. So I'll put that back there on that eye. Then I'm going to mirror this. Now in Nomad, I didn't make this character perfectly symmetrical. So even though I will flip this bone, so I'm going to flip in hierarchy mode across X. It's not quite right. That's fine. I'll just drag it to where that needs to be. About there. Cool. I'm going to zoom out. Get back into perspective mode, turn off lock rotate. Okay, so I think we're ready to go. So I'm going to turn the skin back on. Okay, so I'm going to bind each of these meshes, so the head mesh, the eyes, and the tooth to the skeleton. Rather than use Morphin's built-in auto weight painting tool, I'm just going to weight it myself manually. So I'm going to choose the, make sure the mesh is selected. Then go to bind, and rather than click auto weight, I'm just going to go bind. So that's been bound. I'm going to choose the tooth, bind that, and then finally choose the eyes and bind that. Cool. So at the moment, there'll be no weights assigned because I'm going to paint those manually. So the first thing I'll do is I will paint the weights for the mesh. So I'm going to use the weight paint tool over here. So you can see here, I've got three possible skin weights to choose from. So I'm going to go to the mesh. So in previous videos, in the previous video, I used the painting tool, but this time I'm going to use this gradient tool. So this, you can just sort of paint broad areas like that. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly sort of paint up everything, mostly everything to the neck bone, and just go apply. Then I'm going to choose the head bone. I'm going to paint another gradient, which is just sort of like roughly in line with the neck like that. So it's probably a little bit too high, go a little bit lower, like that. Yeah, that feels pretty good. And apply. So now I've got the neck is mostly assigned. Oh, hello. Try that again. Make sure the neck is getting the weight it needs. So paint everything for the neck and exit. Go to the head, paint that. So it's just a bit too high, like that. Apply, exit. See if that works. Yeah, that's better. So just getting sort of a nice sort of squishy neck. This pose button down here just resets the bones to where they started. The next trick I'm going to do is I'm going to paint a bit of the eyeball, the eye bone weight onto this around of the eye, and I'll show you why. So I'm going to go back into weight paint tool. I'm going to use this gradient tool instead, this spherical gradient with a small weight value. and just paint a little region like that. Apply and exit, and then do the same for the other eye. Paint a small region like that. Apply and exit. Now what this does, as I turn the eye, you see that's the skin around the eye just shifts a bit, which gives it a nice sort of realistic vibe. It's a little trick I learned ages ago from a great rigger friend of mine. So that's the head done. Next we'll do the eyes. So I'm going to, so with this bone, I'm just going to hide the mesh for a second. So I'm going to go into weight paint mode, and now I'm going to paint on the eyes. I'm going to paint all the weight onto this eye. Might have to make my brush size a bit bigger, like that. Apply and exit. Go to the other eye and paint weights. Oops. Paint the weight, apply and exit. So now if I turn the skin back on, see that when I turn the eye turns with the bone, and a little bit of the skin around the eye moves with it, which is pretty cool. Back to the blind pose. And last thing is to paint the weight for the tooth. So I'm going to choose the head bone, paint weights for the tooth this time. Just quickly flood fill that, apply and exit. So now we have our rigged character. Cool. So next thing is we're going to do some animation. So I'm going to give myself 200 frames. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use separate animation clips for each kind of animation that I'm doing. So to start with, we'll do the head rotations. So I'm going to make a new clip. I'm going to call this a head rotation. And you can see up here in the corner, it tells you what you've currently selected, what kind of keyframing you're going to do, and what is the current clip. So make sure that I'm setting rotation values. And I'm also going to turn on auto keyframe. So I'm going to let it play for a bit and say I'm going to start turning about there. I'm going to choose the head bone and I'll turn them to face, say that way. And you can see that's automatically put down a keyframe. And so that's going to start there. Actually, what I want to do, I want to start it reset like that. So I'll turn like that, wait for a bit, and then from here to the keyframe, go to there, turn maybe that way, hold there for a bit. From there, look down and sad. And then maybe from here, slowly get back to his default pose and key. So now if I play that, you can see it turns that way, down, and then slowly goes back to its default state. Cool. So that's my head rotation. Next thing I'll do is I'm going to do the eyes. So I'm going to make a new clip. I'm going to rewind, make a new clip, new action called eye rotation. And I'm going to grab the eye. Though I think I just remembered I have to choose the bone first and then make the clip. So eye rotation. So again, you can see up here, this tells you what the currently chosen clip is. So I'm going to go like that. And I'm just going to do very, very sort of quick eye darts here. So I'm going to choose that eye. Oops, just zoom in a bit. And make him look, say, that way. And then maybe there, do another quick look somewhere else. So you can see I'm doing very sort of short timing between these eye darts, like that. So it's kind of looking sideways at us a bit. After he looks down, there, and then finally about there, I'll reset it back to the default and keyframe it. So if I zoom out and deselect, see what we get. Okay. So for the moment, you'd have to manually do those values for the other eye. I'm just going to leave that for now. We're going to jump onto the blend shape animation. So for now, I'm going to choose the mesh because that's where those blend shapes live. And I'm going to make a new track. So a new action called, say, blink. Okay, and this time I'm going to be storing morph values. So I'm going to go over to the blink. and I'm going to work out where I'm going to put the blinks. So maybe one there, close, and then a few frames later, open. Maybe one there. So start, open, closed, a bit later, open. Over there, another one there, open, close, whoops, one, close, open, and down to there, open, whoops, open, close, open. I might even do another quick one, close, open, and finally around here, open, close, open. So that's looking pretty cool. All right, and the last thing, I'll make another track for the facial expressions. So I'm going to go to here, I'm going to make a new action called emote. And I'm going to start it there and just about there, just have them sort of like be frowning a little bit. And maybe the smile be there. And over there, you can hold there for a bit, and I'll turn the frown down and the smile up just a little bit. And then over here, smile up a little bit more. And then finally by here, set a keyframe, and then I'll turn it back down to 0. Like that. So there we are. So we've got bone animation, blend shape animation, all on separate tracks, very controllable. That's pretty cool stuff.